Well, good day, everybody. So these tracker updates are going to get shorter and shorter as time goes by. We've got 6 left out racing, and haven't had an update from Translated 9 for a while. I'll have to keep up with that and let you know tomorrow. But they have been at it for quite a while, and I'm sure there's some news there and progress. I've been too busy to look on their social media, but it's no doubt there. Explorer's got their spinnaker up. Whoop, whoop. That's cool. Got quite a few spinnakers on board. And Sterner believes they're at war with this strong headwinds. They've got a moderate headwind, so they've been bashing and slamming and all that sort of stuff. So not enjoying it at all. And Tapio's supreme statement before they carried on, maybe a little bit too far, a few people talking about it, to tack or not to tack, that be the question. They hung on a little bit long, I reckon, because they were right alongside Triana, but Triana's now sort of zipped up and picked up over 100 miles because they tacked at the right time. In fact, it's easy for us to make these assumptions, when you look at it, because we're, in hindsight, and also we've got access to all the weather and all those sorts of things. But it was, wow, as soon as I saw White Shadow just scream past the back of them and just kept going straight up to where they should have been going, you immediately think, why haven't they tacked? But anyway, you get this mindset and settled in. Like the extreme version of that was Explorer, of course. Anyway, it's all happening, and we finally got our rib going, which is all good news. So Mona's back on track. Turned out to be as we expected. It was the sensor. There's obviously electronic sensors all over the engine, to tell you when things go wrong. And it was actually the sensor that went wrong. So it was saying the engine's overheating, and then it would cut it out and all that. And I knew the engine wasn't overheating. Everything's perfect. The engine's only done 225 hours, and recently serviced about 25 hours ago. Everything's fine. The impeller should be fine. All those sorts of issues. So it was just the sensor as we thought. So 30-pound sensor, and we're back on track again. So the boat's back in the water, tested and sitting there ready for the next boats on Monday, Tuesday, or whatever. So that's cool. Anyway, that's about all I've got to tell you, I think. That's about all. So we'll go straight to the tracker and talk about what's going on here. So you're on the tracker, I'm on the tracker, and you can see it's still the weather for the first 4 boats is being dominated by this high pressure system here. It's developing headwinds, and you can see the track pretty clearly on the tracker for Galiana. They went a little bit further than they probably should. They were right beside Triana, which was a little bit to the east of Galiana, and Triana tacked there, came back, did another short tack, came back and carried on. Now they're out of this heavier weather, and so they'll be enjoying that. Sea will be dying down and coming along, but there's a huge gap there now. And in fact, if we look at distance to the finish, Galiana 634 and Triana only 510. Now they were literally side by side, so lost out nearly 120 miles in the last 24 hours, which is quite dramatic when you think about it. So anyway, we're here. So Galiana currently doing, that's not, the position's not rolled over yet. That's interesting. Why is that? That's the old position. Okay, Avrika's rolled over. We've got a bit of time to check this. Triana rolled over. And Galiana's not rolled over. I wonder why. So that's why they're 120 miles. It will probably close up by 20 miles when that pops in. Okay, while we're waiting for Triana to pop over, let's have a look at what Explorer's doing. They've got their spinnaker up. They're on the edge of this solid southerly, and currently doing, why are they only doing 4.1 knots with the spinnaker up? Right, must be drifting. 124 mile day. That's a lot better than 20 miles, and they'll be into stronger winds soon by the look of it. So that's encouraging. The wind's slowly dying down for Sterner, and they're swinging a bit, but because they want to hold to heading towards the finish, they're bringing the course up and keeping the wind on the beam, so it'll be probably quite wet. It's still dying down from a 28 knot, gusting 38 or 35, 38, probably with 3 to 4 meter sea. It's slowly heading back, maybe to 15 to 20 knots, 25, maybe gusting 28 knots. So it's slowly getting better, and they're reaching, so doing 7.1 knots at 152 mile day. So they've cleared out, and has Galiana not moved yet? That's interesting. That makes it hard to compare. Anyway, Evrika kind of a funny angle there. This is all kind of strange. They've done a 113-mile day, but it's only showing that they're doing 3.7 knots. They are going to windward, but as long as there's any breeze on the nose, if they're tacking in the right angles, they should be doing more than 3.7. So that's confusing. Maybe they're sitting in a current, but I doubt it. There's only generalization currents there. It's showing a small current. I don't know whether you can see that. There's nothing dramatic there for the current, so it's not the current. I'm not sure. Maybe they're just not getting the breeze that we're showing on the graphic here. You see Galiana's going to come up in a bit of a current, and Triana certainly went through this lot as well. So back to the wind. Anyway, they've done a 113-mile day, and they're heading in the right direction, absolutely. White Shadow's been doing really well. 5.1 knots, 114-mile day. And remembering, they passed behind Galiana yesterday, which was quite interesting to watch. So 540 mile to the finish for White Shadow. Triana, 6.8 knots, 114-mile day, and 510 miles to the finish. So they're a little bit further along to windward on the course. Galiana, they've now rocked over at 12:04. So now they've been doing 6 knots, which is a nice speed. Plenty of breeze there, 28 to 30, maybe gusting as high as 38 or something. Not quite, extreme, but jumping around in the breeze. And they've got 612 miles to the finish. And Triana again had 610, so they're 100 miles behind, which is not so bad, but it's still, they were right next to each other. So Tapio will be kicking himself when he sees that when he gets in, if he goes back and has a look. So let's have a look at what the weather is doing now for the next 2 days, and try and give you an assessment on what's going to go down. So we should be able to bounce this over if the internet's fast enough. I'm going to try ours. No, it's very slow, so I'm going to click and drag, because you can see there's 24 hours. Okay, so it's pretty much more of the same. However, it's starting to come around to the east and a little bit south of east. Now, that'll mean that's in the next 24 hours. It means Triana might be able to just come forward here and arc their course around on that breeze. If it holds east, it might start to get some southeasterly in it if this centre, which is right over the top of Ireland and the UK, moves far enough away, quick enough. It could come into the southeast, which will absolutely let them speed up towards the finish. Bearing in mind that it's already now the 19th, and Triana's got to get in by the 22nd, so they got to get a move on if they want to hold their relative position on ORC overall. I think it's going to be more of the same so this is 24 hours out. Okay, Triana still got Galiana will still have it on the breeze, and stern, it's moving around astern for them, so they'll probably alter their course again, come around with it and keep it on the beam. But so that's helping them. That's allowing them to sail, reasonably well, 7 knots towards the finish, and they'll hold that breeze for sure in the next 24 hours. So moving right along to the 21st. Oh, that's 1:30 in the morning. Okay, so 2021. So this is early morning that day. Triana, yeah, they'll hook around on that, but it's not moving quickly. The centre's not moving quickly, that's for sure. And here it is at lunchtime. So that's a full 24 hours. No, it hasn't moved much at all. In other words, the centre of the high is extending down. So Triana's going to sail into these light headwinds, as we saw a couple of days ago. Galiana with secure will be the same. White Shadow's probably going to have to tack. They'll come up into this lot as well. Same with the Varika. This is going to be the new feature for them, these light winds sitting in their way between them and the finish line. Stern is going to look okay, but they're going to stay up a bit high. I think I doubt whether they'll get down to this point. They'll probably end up sailing towards where Varika is. Okay, so that's the 2-day forecast. And Explorer, hopeless, goes back to light headwinds, so they'll probably head down to Spain. I may not even make that. But anyway, they'll do the best they can with what they've got. But yeah, they'll roll across on that. It's going to go quiet for them, so there's no big breezes. And again, let's just have a look at the overall. The Atlantic right now is a real hodgepodge of everything, all sorts of stuff going on. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to go through, and we don't need to line on us. They're all stacked up. You can see there's really not a lot to talk about there other than the fact that Triana is showing slightly ahead of the others, then White Shadow, Galliano with Secura, Vrica, Sterna, and so it goes. If we go into IRC, we've got okay, so we've got Triana at 51 days. This is for this leg, so it doesn't really matter. They're not going to score very well in here. Okay, so Galliano with Secure, White Shadow, and so on. So there's not a big thing there. We'll come over and have a quick peek at the rankings overall, bearing in mind that we don't say anything now until Triana or any of the other boats get in. Reload that site. Am I doing the right thing here? Yes. There. Anyway, coming back. Boom. Okay, so I pressed the wrong button. I'm just sorting that out now. I wasn't thinking when I did that. I'll come back to the tracker. I've got to share that. We'll be back on the tracker in a minute. Okay. For some reason, that boom there. Now I'm going to put you back on the tracker so you can see what is going on with me. So you've got the tracker back. Now I get onto the tracker and I reboot that. It's funny, I was staring at it thinking, is that right? Is that right? I'm trying to do too much. Combined results. Combined results. Now we will bring up the leaderboard. Okay, so Maiden's still sitting on number 1, Spirit of Helsinki number 2, Triana number 3. So they're currently looking at 180 days, 17 hours. So Triana is currently about a day and 16 hours or something behind Maiden, and that's based on a average speed of 4.9 knots from the start. If we go down to recents, okay, so we go down to recents, and Triana is slipped back a little bit more because their average speed has dropped back to 4.7. So we'll sit on that. That could all change. You never know. They get the average speed up, and this could dramatically change, but certainly they've got plenty of challenges to do that. There's no one else in there that's got any threat on that. So we'll just see how it pans out. They're still a fair way from the finish, but the weather's not necessarily helping them. So that's the reality right now. Okay, so that's really it. I can come back here and hit that, and then you're looking at me, which is all a bit boring, I know. Let's see. There we go. Rob, Kylie. Yeah, happy the rib going. Might even go on a holiday tour. You never know. We've got no boats for a couple of days, although we're all very busy catching up, trying to do things. But we'll see. Yep. Good to have Ada. Ada just shot back to France. So Ada's going back to do another thing, back on Sunday night, I believe, Monday morning, something like that. Going to stay in the upcoming. Are there going to be any upcoming press conferences? No, there's no press conferences. Everyone's gone. You've seen all the interviews on the dock. Everything's a bit different than the GGR. So the next time there's any big group of the entrants together, we'll be at the prize giving. Some of the entrants can't make it, and this would be normal no matter what happened, because we were scheduling the press conference for mid-May, but we've decided to put it back to June the 21st in Rome, with the support of Translated, who are a great supporter of the event in lots of different little ways. So it's going to be a big weekend in Rome, and the majority of the entrants are quite looking forward to that. It'll be let your hair down and so on. There's no easy time. In fact, some events don't even have a prize giving. You know, if you watch the Volvo or some of the other events, they just give you the trophy on the dock when you get in, boom, because they're one design boats and stuff. So we're going back to the challenges of the early days, and June the 21st is when we're there. We're not scheduling any press conferences between now and then. Okay, great. The rib's all good. Yep. Good morning, Robert. Hi, Roberto. We're still here because we love you, and we are so thankful for all the information you give us every day about this amazing race. Thanks a lot for your time and your constancy. No one else did this, as far as I know. You know, it's an interesting point. Thanks, Roberto. You know, the whole team's up for that. You know, Rob and Georgie and Jack and Ada and me and Jane and all that stuff. We like doing what we do, but I'll agree, no one does it the way we do it. been very interesting. A bit of gossip here for the diehards. We've got 53 people watching. Every time we go to the Yacht Racing Forum, which is a big forum every year about yacht race organisers and all that sort of stuff, which we try and attend every time. It's a good opportunity to see what everyone's up to. We always feel as if we're a little bit on the outer for a couple of reasons. We're not on the outer, but we are completely different than everyone else in the room. Everyone else in the room is there to work out how to make money and support sailing. Okay, and they go through this big list and have all the experts there about what you got to do to make your events bigger and better and get bigger following, bigger sponsors, all that sort of stuff. We would love to have sponsors. We don't get them. So we fund it and we do the best we can with what we've got. And the entrants contribute to that with their entry fees and all those sorts of things. But yeah, it sounds a funny statement. We're not here for the money. We do it because we love doing it. But we'd love to make some money so we can pay back some money and make it bigger, and so on. But the key is that we just do it as if we've got our friends Ada and I and Jane, everyone, we talk about it. When we're in the rib doing all the lives, we're not news reporters. It's not an act. We just always say it's just as if you got your mate in the boat with you and say, "Oh, look at this, jeepers, look what's going on there. Eh? That's pretty cool," So we just treat the whole deal as if it's just happening. It's normal. It's human. We're all out in the boat. All of you are out in the boat with us, watching what's going on, and it's nothing's pre-scripted or pre-planned. We just say it as it is, and then when we do these lives, it's the same. Sometimes I tread very carefully on the women in sailing aspect, which is very delicate. Got to be careful what I say. I nearly started a hornet's nest once in the Golden Globe race, which I'll remember very well. But at the end of the day, I don't care. I just say it as it is and just do what I think we want to do. And for sailing, we do it differently. And the beauty of it is we obviously promote our theme and what we do and the human angle and so on. We've been pushing the human story for a long time, since about 2015, and now you see it all over the place. All the events, they're picking very similar lines, and we're proud of that to a degree. It's what we do, and it's fun. So, and a lot of people appreciate it, and it's fun when you get the entrants and the sailors and the crew all appreciating what everyone's doing. And when I say everyone, I mean it's not just the organizer, but it's actually the entrants themselves, and the way they collectively bond and the way they interact. And we're all doing this amazing thing that everyone just loves it. And it is completely different. And even having the simple little things like having a radio on board and having the HF buddy chats, all that sort of stuff, most of the entrants, and in fact nearly all of them, have never experienced that before in their life, because no one puts long-range radios on their racing yachts anymore. It's all by satellite. So they might have a WhatsApp group, but it's not the same as getting on the radio, 4 times a day and having a chat between all the other entrants. And that in itself brings back something that's really unique and different that used to be the norm. When I started sailing, that's all you did. You all had your radios. When I did the BOC, we were all on the chat sessions all the time, talking about what's going on. And so it is different. It's a lot of fun, and it's great to see all the crews talking about it now. Just saying how they really enjoyed it, really love it. A lot of crews now talking about how they can get back into 27. And the thing, I said it yesterday, I think on the live with Outlaw, is it'll be interesting to see how many of the current crews come back skippering their own boats, because it's not hard. It's not hard at all. In fact, I've mentioned a couple of times we're buying another boat, which we are, for some reasons which we'll talk about later, but we'll dictate and show the budgets on that as well. And we'll go through the budgets on Explorer when Explorer finally gets here, because there were some few extraordinary budget items during the course of the race, which was, say this with respect, they were crew related, so that they wouldn't normally happen if the boat was going well, and they're sort of big budget things. But we're going to declare and show the budget of buying the boat, everything that's happened during the race, and what it really costs, and what we could probably sell Explorer for now if we actually sold it. And you'll see it's not as expensive as you might think, And so, I had a chat with a guy a couple of days ago about his dream. He followed the first Whitbreads, tried to get in the previous Whitbreads, didn't make it. Now he's 60-something, wants to do the Whitbread. He's got some money in the bank. And I just showed him, I said, look, just over the road here, about 10 miles away, there's a Swan 51, a beautiful boat. Asking price is £120,000. You'll get it for less than that. And it's the perfect boat to enter into the OGR with 10 people on board for 120 grand. Now, you're going to have to service it and do everything there, but everything's on it. Everything's on it. It's a really nice boat. Swan 51, £120,000 asking price, and it's sort of ready to go. And that's your capital cost. So you service it, you get it all ready, get some new sails, all the safety gear, pay your entry fee, all that sort of stuff, do your race. When you get back, sell the boat, and that's your real cost to do the race. But how do you put value on what you're actually doing? I'm actually digressing here. This is from a comment about the race. Anyway, I'll get on with it. But yeah, stand by for that. There'll be stuff coming out even when the race is finished and all of the entrants in and it's done deal, and you're not seeing the trackers all the time. There will be things coming up on social media and on the newsletters and press releases for OGR going forward right over the next 3 years leading up to 2027. So it's interesting. So thanks, Roberto. Got sidetracked there. Yeah, Galliana's back up. That's cool. Thanks, Peter. Last duckling's coming in slowly. Yep. G'day, Warren. Good to see the States there. The States is following, and this, sailing in general is picking up. It's quite interesting. Jeff, Adelaide, check-in. G'day, Jeff. G'day, Vivek, Kylie. So who will be the winner? Well, we're not talking about the overall winner until the relevant boats get in. Nothing's official until that time. It's out of respect and all the rest of it. Keep seeing news articles saying Penduick has won, so I'm a bit confused. No, there's a popular misconception there. She won the fourth leg of the OGR, but sometimes people don't quite get it. You can only say so much, so it's natural that people will say she's won. And in fact, we got to do a count back. George and I were just talking about it yesterday to see who actually had the shortest time on the water. We don't recognise the overall line honours for all four legs combined. The reason we don't recognise it is for exactly that reason, where someone says, Penduick won the whole race. Well, they didn't, because there's only one person to win the whole race, or one boat that will win the whole race, and that's the IRC winner. So that everyone in the fleet has got a chance to win the OGR. I believe that in the previous Whitbreads, that was the premier trophy. Okay. Yes, they recognise the overall line honours over four things, but I don't care. We see this as the chance for everyone to have a go, and the winner will be the IRC winner of all four legs combined. That's the winner of the OGR. It's always there. And we're getting a very super duper trophy made for the perpetual trophy of the OGR. It's taking months to happen. It's going to be very impressive, and look forward to seeing that. It's all a bit top secret, but that will be the King prize, So, and if we had have started to promote or recognise an overall line honours for all four legs, that would just confuse the issue. And that's one of the problems you get with current modern racing, where it's not a problem, but it's a reality. It's all about speed and money. You can buy speed by spending more money, right? And we want to get away from that. We throw it out the window, but we love big boats. So if you say use the Sydney Hobart as an example, and I love the Sydney Hobart, don't get me wrong, I'm just saying the boats that get all the press at the finish are the first boats over the line, which are 100-footers. They get all the, And the guys who win on handicap for the Sydney Hobart get a bit of a mention, and sailors are interested, but everyone else, who gives a shit? I mean, who cares? It's the big boats that, wow, they won the Sydney Hobart. It's all, and that's because they spent more money to build the biggest boats with the best sails and paid the best crew to get to the finish. Now, I love that. That's what Grand Prix racing does. It's what it's about, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what we're doing is stepping it back and giving everyone a chance, and put the priority on the IRC. So, yes, Penduick was fantastic. Won leg 4, beautiful boat, great team. They sailed really hard. And in leg 4, they got the IRC handicap rating as well, which is very impressive. To drive a big boat like that on this last Atlantic leg with all of those weather challenges, to knock off IRC as well. It was very impressive. So they did some amazing stuff. Anyway, going right along, I forget where I was there. Kylie Simon, keep seeing news articles saying Penduic. Yeah, I have the tracker open all day long on my other screen. Enjoy these updates. Cool. The funny part about the tracker, we spit chips a bit because our statistics for the tracker are stunning. The amount of people that are clicking on for the tracker is running into the millions, or millions of hits, I should say. But it's only for the ones that click on the website. The apps, all the apps that have been downloaded, which people log on to 5-6 times a day, we can't count them. You can't count the hits on the tracker on the app, only on the computer. But it's pretty cool. So we're the same. We're always looking at the tracker. Sue, just wondering here from South Atlantic, maybe Explorer is thinking it would be nice to have a joint venture finishes arrival at Cows together with Translated 9 once it's back in the sea heading to Cows. Funniest part there, as I said to Marco when they were into Madeira, your big race now is to get in before Explorer. Not expecting that to be the case. They may well get in before Explorer. You never know. Anyway, part of the fun. Yeah, g'day, Stefan. Thanks, mate. Stefan's our Starlink consultant. He supports and manages that for us. And as you probably know, Starlink will be mandatory for 2027, and Stefan will be looking after that for us. So everyone will have a Starlink system on board. Thanks, C&S. I agree. So much fun to watch each morning here. Yeah, good on you, Anne. Following your races. Thanks, Darla. Yep, that's cool. Still watching the trackers. I'm rooting for Explorer. Good on you. They're absolutely going to win something. Anyway, Marie says the buddy chat was one of the best things about JGR. Absolutely right. Yeah, she's really going for it, and I'm very happy to have her in the event. She's done an amazing job with everything about it, and wishing her well. There's a lot going to happen very shortly. When she arrives in Lorient, it'll be big news, as in they all get to get her back for real, get the boat back for real. Somebody might not know that there's a huge Eric Tabarly Penduic museum, a really impressive one in Lorient. And so Marie, obviously the whole family is tied up with all of that as well. It's really a big deal. So that whole legend goes on to inspire a lot of people. And now Marie's always been a part of that, but it's just even stronger now. So that's cool. Didn't know anything about sailing until I stumbled across the GGR, but now I'm absolutely love listening to the information and stories. You're all fantastic. Cool. Well, you should try sailing, Katie. That's cool. HF radio chats are fantastic. Love my radio. Yep, for sure. Do they have a particular time when they speak on the radio, or just when they felt like it? No, they have a set time. In fact, I was surprised. This is funny. This is how it goes. I was surprised to see they're sorted out four times a day. I think under the sailing instructions there was one couple of times a day, and then the entrants themselves can sort it out. And in fact, when I did the 1990 BOC, I got Robin Davey and I both got a joint award called the Communicators Award, because we're always out there communicating. But we actually, I won't say we started the concept of having HF radio chats, but we absolutely cemented that whole concept back then, and I still remember everything about it. And I've never been involved with high tech racing, so that's all I know is HF radio chats. But now we still use satellite gear, of course, But anyway, cheapers. I just lost where I was. That's a worry. Here we go. Kylie Rose. HF chat's fantastic. Do you have any particular time? No, so they do, but we never publicise that because we don't want people listening in on their HF radios, because the temptation will be too great for them to say g'day on the radio, and it upsets the dynamic of the entrance, and we don't want others chatting on there because it's really for entrance. But anyway. Any estimates when Explorer will cross the line? Sometime before Christmas, Stefan, But anyway, I'm saying probably about the 8th or 9th of May, I think, but we'll have to wait and see. It'll get more obvious as they get closer, but there's still a long way to go. Looking forward to that info. I'm definitely watch that one too. Agree with you. It's not all about size. Yep. This year, Ollie the Cat has self got the most coverage in the second. Oh yeah, right. Yep. And the Sydney to Hobart. Yeah, there's always some good human stories there as well, so that's cool. Hi, Alvin. It would be good to have merchandise to buy here in Cows. We've got some. If you come down to we've got some here. If you're here, Peter, in Cows, we'll be at the yacht club, the Island Yacht Club, at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I've got a meeting with Georgie. Come on down, and we'll have there's some t-shirts and beanies and hats and stuff there if you want it. The problem is with our team to try and we can't man a shop. We did it in Auckland and we sold truckloads of stuff, but we're very lucky to have Elizabeth with us, who was traveling from Australia, to act as a volunteer. She loves speaking to people. You may have seen it. We had a container there. We were selling gear and we sold truckloads. But that's the problem. We never make money when we sell any of the merchandise because it costs us too much to handle it. And we don't have the volume to have a big online store, the automatic this, automatic that, so on. I mean, there's some ways that we can do it, but it's just crazy. But anyway, if you're down at the Island Yacht Club in Cows at 3 o'clock, come upstairs and I'll organise something. So people on the mainland don't get the ferry and come over. We don't want too many. Okay, I think that's just about it. I'm waffling on a bit. Early to call on Explore ETA. My guess 7, 8, 9. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said, Paul. I'm with you in the same. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, and have a good day. See you later. I'm going to press that button now.